Hi, this is Lee Benz, the home scholar. So somebody asked me a question on my website. Am I going to be able to do all things right all the way through high school? And of course the answer to that is, of course you're not going to do all things right. That's not humanly possible. So let's just give that one up right away. You're not going to be able to do all things right. First of all, have you ever met a perfect person? No. And there are no perfect schools. There are no perfect homeschools. There are no perfect public schools or perfect private schools. So no matter what you do, no matter what school your child goes to, no matter how great the teacher, they're all still flawed humans and they're still going to not be perfect. So you can't do it all right, but that's okay, because nobody can do it all right. So instead, what you want to be thinking about is maybe, is 80% of your school doing pretty well? Let's just put it into a numbers perspective for people like me that like numbers. If you're thinking about it and you're thinking, probably only 80% of my school is good enough. Wow, what a great number. Have you looked at the graduation rate of your local public school? My public school recently had a 50% graduation rate. How many homeschoolers do you know that have flunked out of school? Yeah, not that many. So if you have an 80% success rate in your classes, if you're doing well 80% of the time, I say more power to you. You're doing a great job. So how do you know if you're trying hard enough is good enough? One of the ways you can tell is if you ask me questions like, am I doing well enough? Because when you're asking that question, so here's what I think. I think a little bit of worry is a normal, healthy thing when you're homeschooling. It's going to keep you trying. The moment you think, oh, it doesn't matter, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's when things kind of fall apart. But if you're feeling just slightly anxious, like, oh, I should be probably thinking about foreign language here pretty soon, usually that is enough to make sure that you're doing it right 80% of the time, which is a really good amount for you to do. If you're struggling with that, either you're not doing enough and you know it for a fact, or you're doing too much and you're thinking you have to be perfect, as if that was somehow possible, I would be glad to help you talk through that. It's one of the things I do with my Gold Care Club members all the time. Just join the Gold Care Club. We can talk on Wednesdays and get it all hashed out. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just say, okay, tell me what you're doing in your homeschool. And so I'll get, two kinds of parents. The one that will list 58 different things that they try to do every day, and then they say, my child is lazy and they're not getting it done. Well, that's because you want 58 hours of work every day, right? And then you have the other kind of parents that are like, well, we do 3 different things, but they don't usually get it done. And then they can have kind of a firm conversation with them and say, let's try to keep their options open by being prepared for college. And we'll start by putting their weak areas first, and we'll talk through that whole concept. So one way or the other, I'll be glad to help. Just don't think you're going to be perfect, because it ain't going to happen. I hope that helps.